Okay, hi all. Welcome to Diversified Finance. My name is Laka. So just another Sunday. So we had a really good session last week, and then we discussed about superannuation, and we looked at the charts, Bitcoin and gold and silver, and we looked at few altcoins. So today we're going to do the same again, and then compared to last week, we've seen a bit of a correction for Bitcoin price. So we're going to have a look at it, and we're going to see what will happen in the future in coming few months or so. And also Shehan gonna go through superannuation. It'll be like superannuation part 3, and Chamira will go through some technical charts. So I'm gonna help just to help us go to make this Zoom session a pretty fruitful one. So okay, let's quickly look at the topics for today. Let me share the screen. Okay, so investor attitude. So I'm going to discuss a little about what we should do, especially when we see a Bitcoin price is going up a lot higher. Like how not to get caught up in the hype. And I'm going to explain the human psychology and behavior, and then try not to bite at the top. So that's what I'm going to go through at the start, and probably after that. Shehan going to go through superannuation, and then Shamir going to discuss reversal patterns, and I'm going to discuss a little bit about higher interest rates, and also gold and silver charts, and Dow Jones. We're going to look at the dollar, because that's something really important that we need to make sure we always check, because when the dollar goes up, with most of the asset class tend to go down in value. And then we can have a look at Bitcoin price action, and then I'm going to discuss about Metaverse tokens. So on the investor attitude, so let me just. Okay, so I hope you guys can see this. Can you guys see this Word document? Yeah. Okay. So this is something I think really important. Like what we're going to discuss here, you can use it like on any type of a market. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be Bitcoin. So under investor attitude, the first point is how not to get caught up in the hype. Wait for a correction. So as we know, because of the ETF news that ETF news that we've seen, like that they discuss. We've seen a lot of hype in the market, and because of that, a lot of people got in thinking that the price will keep on going higher. But as for today, we know that that's not the case. Like Bitcoin hit around $68-9 or so. Now it drops to like below 60,000. So this is what normally happens, like when there's a lot of hype, like everybody was so bullish, expecting prices to go a lot higher. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. Market has, it seems like people who bought Bitcoin around like 30,000, 40,000, it seems like they just took some profit, and then because of that, market has come down a bit. And last week we looked at the weekly chart, and I mentioned we are seeing a doji candle, which is not looking good, because a candle with like a massive wick and like a small body on the weekly chart. So when we see something like that, that means it tells us like there's a lot of selling pressure. And then I just had a bit of a guess. Maybe we might see a correction the coming week, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, I did not know it's going to happen for sure, but that's what the when we looked at the chart, that's what the chart was telling us. So so the first point is how not to get caught up in a hype, wait for a correction. So if you next time when you see this much of hype, for example, few days ago, like maybe last week, when I looked at fear and greed index, it was greed for that day, and for the last day was for the previous day was greed, and then last week it was greed, and last month it was greed. So we've seen greed for about like a month, and for 4 or 5 weeks. And when you see this kind of situation, it's a good indicator, like, that there's a lot of hype in the market, which tells you, like, maybe it's time to, like, take some, you don't need to sell everything, take some money out, and have some USDC, like, set it aside in case if there's a correction, then you can use that money to get back in. So you can simply use the market to increase your wealth or increase your portfolio. For example, let's say someone had, like, say, for example, uh, zero point 0.1 Bitcoin, right? And then when the market, when it hit like 68,000 or so, let's say you sold 20-30%, and now you have that in USDT. And then when the Bitcoin drops below 50, 60,000, 58 or 58, 55 or so, that would have given you, like, opportunity to use that USDT or USDC and to accumulate more Bitcoin at lower levels. So this is something you could do. Use the market, take profit along the way up, and use that profit to increase your portfolio, increase your wealth. You can always use diversification to do the same as well. But having that we focus only on Bitcoin right now, that's something you can do by taking profit. So this is really important. So if you see so much of hype, one thing you can do, you wait for a correction. Like, sometimes you see hype, it goes on for like a few weeks, right? But you have to have a lot of patience and wait for the right moment. Like, if you really feel like buying, if you feel like missing out, at that time you can just DCA buy, like buy a little bit of on the way up, but never go all in expecting, like, a lot higher prices, because it might not happen. So that's what we've seen so far. So Bitcoin had a bigger correction, $11,000 correction. Now it's kind of like consolidating, and we don't know the correction, but we'll later on in the video we just go and have a look at it, like, where it's going to go up or down, or what are the probabilities we are seeing at the market right now. And so the most important thing is, if you feel like, if you feel like, buying on the way up, don't go all in, buy just a little bit, and then wait for a correction. That's what we're seeing right now. So as soon as you see a correction, you can put some money in, like, you can DCA buy. That in that case, the issue is at the top. If you put all your money in, and when you have a correction, you don't have any money to, like, buy back Bitcoin at a lower price. So always wait for a correction. At least wait for it to come back down to like 21-week moving average. So we've seen, or 200-day moving average, or closer to it, because we've seen Bitcoin price has gone way above 200-day moving average and 21-week moving average. When that happens, there are sometimes, like, even after a massive hype, once it's dissipated, you'll see price comes down to, like, retest these levels. So that's that's point number one. So point number two is, this is really, really important. It doesn't matter what kind of a market. It could be like property or gold, silver, shares, or anything. These markets, like, cannot affect our happiness. So this is very, very important, right? I mean, if we are emotionally attached, like, way too emotionally attached, like, for these investments, simply just because you bought, like, got into some kind of a asset, it doesn't mean it has to go up, like, from the day that you bought it, right? So as soon as you get inside, before you get into any of these markets, you need to understand this market could go up, either go down, right? And if you expect it to go up all the time, but if it goes the other way, then you not going to be happy, right? So the whole point of, like, the trading and investing, and then the education we've done, the higher education we've done, we got a job, we do all this just to make ourselves happy, right? To, like, to live a happy life. That's the main goal. But if you rely on your market to make you happy, right? And then there are times like what we're seeing right now, when the market drops, like, 20-30%, then you're not going to be happy, and then you might see some mood swings, like, you're going to be upset. So before you get into any kind of market, understand these markets, like, not going to go my way. Just because I got in, it doesn't mean it has to go up all the time. There are times it'll go down and it'll go up. So it comes with the experience. So if you're, like, very new to this game, at the start it'll be really hard, like, when it drops, like, if you buy it now and the next day it drops like 10, 20, 30, 40%, you'll be really upset. So but understand this is the situation that you're getting in. Like, this is the way of the market. Like, I mean, if you don't want to have that kind of situation, you rather not invest in this kind of asset classes, especially Bitcoin, because it's highly volatile. You will see 50 to 30, 40, 50 corrections, like, in a day, and it's the same way on the way up. So most important thing is we need to maintain our happiness. Like, don't let the market uh, decide whether you're going to have a good day or bad day. Regardless of what the market does, understand the situation that you are in, and so you'll be able to maintain your happiness, because this is really, really important. And that's number 2. So the next one is the point number 3. So let's say that you don't have a mindset, so you're not you recently joined this market, and then sometimes you bought something and bought some kind of asset class, like let's say Bitcoin, it drops like 30-40%, and you cannot sleep, you keep on thinking about it. So let's say you don't have like a you are not experienced in this market, right? So if you are experienced in this market, if you have a lot of experience, then you tend not to worry. You can just easily forget it, because you experience it so many times. You've seen market goes up and down. But always try to like remain neutral regardless of the market condition until you take profits out. I know, let's say you bought a coin. Let's say, for example, you bought a coin today, right? And the next day it goes up 20-30%. I know there's a bit of excitement, right? But what's the point? I'm not saying, like, if you want to be excited, that's fine, there's no problem. But what's the point of being excited just to see the couple of days after it goes down by 50%? For example, let's say you bought a coin for any coin for like $1, and next day it goes up to like $2 or so, right? And then or say 150, and then you are so excited, but you're not going to take any profits, and then market goes down, it goes down to like 90 cents. So you bought it at like for $1. The day after it went up to 150, it did not take any profits. The second day it drops to like 90 cents. So now you are in losses. So that's why, like, whenever you see the market goes up, it's no need to get excited for no reason. Like, if you take profit, yes. So let's say you bought a coin at $1, it goes up to $1.50, and next day you sell like 30% and take some profit out. So that means the deal is done, right? You already taken profit. Whatever happens afterwards, it does not really matter. So once you taken profit out, that's the time to celebrate. Like, it's no point like celebrating too early, just to see like the whole market goes down the next day and then you are in losses, right? So that's going to be really heartbreaking. So the whole point is like to maintain your happiness, like, not going to get caught up in this, like, market fluctuations. Like, that's the whole point. So let's not celebrate until you take profits out. Like, you can stay neutral until you take profits out. So that's then the third point. So the fourth point is, okay, so let's say you don't have a mentality, you're trying your best, but you always feel like, thinking about the market, and you worry that market has gone down. If you can't stop thinking, there's two things that are always used. Let's say, for example, you don't have that kind of mental toughness, or maybe you are not prepared, like, you are don't have enough experience playing these markets. So there's two things what you can do. The first one is, you can always, this is something that I always use. I always DCA buy. For example, let's say there's so much of hype, market is going up, you feel like you're missing out. You DCA buy means you have $1,000, you're not going to put all in, right? You just use 10% of that 1,000, say use $100 and buy Bitcoin on the way up. And say a few weeks up, a couple of weeks up, it goes up again, use another $100 to buy Bitcoin without going all in, right? So in case if you're wrong, right, if the market goes down, you still have another $600 to $700 in hand, right, to buy back at lower prices. So you're not worried. So regardless of the market does, you are always buying, right, for long term. This is for like a long term investor. So that's like a good strategy I use, because it will not make me like really upset. So let's say you put all your money in, like, during the hype, and then the market goes down 50%, you'll be worried, right? So you won't be able to maintain your happiness. So you, as a trick, that's why we DCA buy and DCA sell, meaning we're not going to be dollar cost average or dollar value average. We're not going to go all in. We just put a little by little on the way up, And even if the market goes wrong, if you are wrong, like you have to always question, what if I'm wrong? So if the next day, next week, market goes down, you still have enough firepower to get back in the market. So you can use DCA buy and sell to reduce your emotional attachment to any kind of market. So this is a very good strategy that I've been using for the past 5-10 years. That's DCA buy. And also the second one is diversify. You can diversify among other asset classes as well. So let's say you got some money, and then you got gold, silver, shares, and Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is just part of your diversified portfolios, just like a one asset class. So in a case, let's say during the hype, you put your all money, you put all your money in, the market goes up, you feel like you missed out, and you put more money in, and the market corrects like 20%. But if you have a diversified asset portfolio, you have other asset classes just to back that up. So if you make like a bit of a loss, right, but like it's like a loss on paper, but you probably have some shares that might go up and like so balance it out. So if you have a diversified portfolio, you can still maintain your happiness. You don't need to get too worried just because one asset class has gone down. Because other asset classes might go up in value, and then it could be even out. This like another strategy I always use. So if you don't have that kind of mental toughness to deal with this kind of like highly volatile markets, you can always make sure DCA buy and sell just to reduce your emotional attachment towards the market. And also you can have a diversified asset portfolio. So we discuss about this diversification so many times. The reason being, when you have a diversified asset portfolio, if one asset class goes down in value, that's fine. You have silver, you have gold, you have shares, you have some other assets like that might go up in value. And then overall portfolio, when you look at it, you might not see so much of a big deal, like a bigger loss. So this is the second point that I want to discuss. So that's it for me from my end under investor attitude. So now let's go to the next topic, which is superannuation. So Shehan will kindly take over and discuss. This is something really important, superannuation. We need to have a really good idea of what we are doing with our money. So Shehan, thanks again. Please take it away. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lakal. Yeah, so as you know, we've taken superannuation into 3 parts because it's a vast topic to cover. And of course, thanks, Lakal, for the previous insight of the investor attitude. It's very important, I guess, the investor attitude before going here should mention, because especially in a market where things are going down or up, or we get scared easily, and attitude, I think, is everything taken care of. So thank you very much. So going to superannuation, today we're going to cover. So first day we covered, just going a little bit of a briefing of what is superannuation and what are the types of superannuations we discussed and all these things. That's just a brief overview of superannuation. And this time, I think we're going to talk. Last time we talked about the way that we need to invest in superannuation, sort of thing, and how we're going to give everything out to the people just to do that. So today we're going to cover the insurance part of superannuation. Very important. People also ignore this part because we usually get home and contents insurance, life insurance, this insurance, that insurance from everywhere else. But we tend to forget that we can get superannuation insurance through superannuation with a very cheaper prospect, and of course it works as well. So so the next thing is about the tax benefits through superannuation. Getting insurance through superannuation is very important. So let's go to the next slide. Basically, are you covered? Very important part. So the tricky part is there are very slightly small lettered information in superannuation disclosure where you need to check whether you are properly covered. And this is something when I did went through a crisis myself with my family, and people who knows me know. My wife was sick and we had to go through certain things. And one of the things I've checked before going on to a superannuation, because she was in first stage super and we had to I moved her to Australian super. So before anything, we went through specific information in the documentation to make sure that we are covered. That's before her sickness and everything when she moved. And myself also, when I check something, I usually check the fine print to make sure that it is the case. So please find out whether your superannuation is actually, the insurance is actually covering you up. Now, if you're with Australian Super, I can guarantee you there are certain things that when they say the disclosure is very fine print, they are very straightforward. So I'm not sure that they're with TAL insurance. So I'm not sure what your insurance provider is. So please double check, because your superannuation is not actually your insurance. It's been provided by a third-party insurance provider. So you have to make sure that their regulations and their nitty-gritty stuff are there when you look at that. So please double check with your superannuation provider that that's the case and what are those fine prints. If we go to the next slide, please. Yeah, so do you have insurance? Do you have insurance in your superannuation fund? So what now, coming back to the point is that regardless of what we just discussed, in general, superannuation usually tends to give you a certain amount of insurance, right? So they say, okay, default, this is a superannuation. You may get, you know, in total and permanent disability or life insurance or income protection, you get this much, this much, this much. You have to put it in prospect. Now, as Lakal mentioned before, right? You have to have certain sort of insurance, certain sort of ways to tackle your investment. So there's a strategy he's talking about, right? Which is diversifying your portfolio, not just relying on cryptos or shares or something. You diversify. Same way, you need to understand that are you covered in case of a certain scenario happens to your life? Are you properly covered? So, for example, if someone says you die, you get 50,000. Now you need to ask the question: can you pay your debts with that? Now your income's probably becoming two incomes to one income, and whoever your spouse, can they manage to do that? You know, so that's something you need to look into. So depending on that, you may think of, oh, I want to increase my limit of say life insurance, or my income protection levels. And these are some things that you can discuss and do with your superannuation provider. So discuss that, figure it out, and increase if you want to increase. That small amount you pay, probably a few dollars, would actually make a big difference. I'd like to share this with you. The scenario I was talking about with my family is that when my wife was sick and she couldn't go to the specific work because she was sick, they gave us the income protection. Now the income protection it covered basically 75% of her normal pay, which was a big relief for us on that moment. So you see, it is important to get ready and then fix. Just imagine, just ask the question of, if you always can ask this question from your provider. Okay, say if I go get your income protection, how much will I be paid in a certain amount, in a certain time frame? They would say, okay, you have a gap of 2 months waiting period, and then whatever. So then you know, okay, I need to wait. I need to hold my line here. I won't get my income protection straight away. There is a time period to wait. There's a waiting period, and then you start. Okay, even if you start, would I get the whole amount? Would I get 70%? Would I get 80%? Check these things through. So there are 3 things that you need to cover, that you need to think of. One is called the total and permanent disability payment, which is called the TPD. The next one is called the, sorry, one second. Sorry. The next one is called the, there's life insurance and income protection. Those, there's 3. So total and permanent disability, TPD, life insurance and income protection. So these are the main things that usually covered by a superannuation. Now, in life insurance, so what we've done here, you can see this chart, which basically it defines of if you get it outside from super, and if you get through super, what are the benefits that the tax, there are tax benefits in super, but if you get life in both in all three, life and TPD and income protection, you may get you may get tax deductions in certain ways in when you go to your tax period. That's for your premiums and so forth. But when it comes to benefits, it may not get funded for the dependents. So you need to make sure that these are there. But in an outside case, that would be the scenario. So depending on your scenarios, you have to check what is viable for you. Do your research, do your research, find out what are the things, talk to these people and figure out what's best for you. So I hope throughout these sessions, you got some information about the superannuation. And this is mainly not but we thought we'd cover this part as well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Shihan. Again, a really good session. Again, like this is the third time that Shihan has done this. And one more thing I just want to clarify. See, insurance is something really important, right? When it comes to, like, for example, we diversify among few asset classes for a reason, just to mitigate risk. So even here, let's say you lost your job, and if you have some kind of income protection, right, for few months, like 3-4 months or so, you have some kind of income just to pay off your bills. Otherwise, you probably have to sell your asset to pay off your mortgage or any other expenses, right? So this is very important, that insurance is something really important. Maybe I just realized maybe next week we might specifically discuss about, like, a separate topic regards to insurance, like, even asset protection as well, including asset protection as well, just in case something goes wrong. I need to make sure, because sometimes, like, insurance not going to cost you much, right? You might pay, like, your life insurance, you can pay for maybe like $1 or a couple of dollars a day or so, right? I mean, in case something goes wrong, maybe you have some kind of backup, so that you don't have to, you don't have any surprises, right? And then you have to sell your assets. Maybe when the market is down, when we are going into a bear market, you have to sell it. And next thing you know, a few months later, it has gone up and you missed the boat. So maybe next week, let's discuss at a separate topic regards to insurance, and we discuss this further. And Shehan, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Okay.
guys. Thank you, Laka.
Okay, so let's quickly go back to the topics. Yeah, so the next one is, so reversal patterns. So this is something really, really important. Like, reversal patterns are really important technical indicators. So Chamira is really good at the technical patterns. So Chamira, if you're ready, please take it away.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, you can. I'll let you share the screen. Just give me a sec. Yeah, I'll make you a co-host quickly. Yeah, so please, you can share the screen right now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
Now.
Okay, thank you very. Thanks.
You guys can see my screen?
Yep. Yes, we can.
Perfect. Yeah, today, yeah, there's like a lot of patterns we see every day, and some patterns works, some patterns like does not continue. And again, there's no one thing I have to say before we start. Like, one pattern won't drive you through, and it's like not 100% guaranteed all these happens, but they're going to help a lot. Based on a lot of research, a lot of people start believing certain patterns occur in certain times of the markets. And based on how we buy and sell crypto, I think the reversals are a key. Obviously, continuation patterns important, but knowing the reversal will allow us to actually either wait for a reversal to happen if it is in a bear market to turn into a bull cycle, or in a bull market to figure out when the best time to sell, even though no one can predict 100% what is the top, but at least we can get some judgmental decisions if we know like there is a potential reversal happening. So we can take some profit and wait for a price come down and jump in. So today I'm going to talk about 3 reversal patterns, which I think I'm sure a lot of you have heard and probably practiced as well. And but it's good to remind and good to look into that. And then once you're familiar, you will be able to see these things in the charts happening. And again, these patterns usually not in a very small time frames, and I practice them in like a daily or higher time frames to see mid-term to long-term patterns, and that's more certain that the reverse may happen in those time frames. The first one is a double top or a double bottom. So double top is in my right hand side here is more considered a bearish pattern, like when we are in an uptrend and price start to go up and it happens, there is a resistance we can't go past and it getting rejected, and then it hits a support level, it tried to go back in a second time and it's getting rejected at the second time, which tells us, okay, this is a strong resistance happening, and once that rejection happens in the same level, it won't be exact dollar or similar to these charts in the books explains, but you can see like it's closely correlated in the graph below. I tried to explain, I just tried to see whether we found anything in BTC recently. I can't recall we had a clear double top, and some people actually calling that previous high 67 to current high 69 is considering a double top, but I personally don't call it a double top. And what happens is like usually the price goes up, it hits one point, comes back down, hits a support, goes up, and closer to the previous high or around that, probably won't reach that high sometimes and start coming back. And we need to see whether it goes past the previous support level to confirm, yes, double top happened and it's reversed current uptrend and now continuing to a downtrend. So as you can see in this diagram as well, our indication is passing that bottom of the between the two tops and continuing the trend down. And once it happens, they say that what we can expect is from this indicator line to the top, the height of the indicator line to the top can go downwards to give us a realistic target. Like you can have a measured target from top to this line into the potential exit if you're shorting the market in this kind of scenario, and have a stop loss above these trends. So you may see that trends are happening like not just straight lines, and you will see some mini reversals happening. So that kind of an indicator we take as a stop loss if you're going into a trade, unless you're just buying spot and waiting for reversal to happen. We can put your stop losses there somewhere around these red lines and wait for it to go down. Especially in the double tops are more interesting than the double bottoms as well, because when it goes out, we always looking to see where we can enter into the market, and we're waiting for some indication for a reversal. And the opposite is the double bottom. I think we see occasionally in the bear markets, price going down, trying to push up, it goes rejected and it goes back up. So that kind of reversals happens in the double bottom as well. Any questions you guys got before we move into the next one?
Yeah, Shamira, I've got a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with the bearish, with the double top, now, can you go back to the previous one? Oh, you can see here. In the double top, right? So is there an indication that if we go say, just say I wanna get some profit out, right? So we go into the first one, goes down to the neckline, right? And then goes up again the second time, and it's coming down as per the bottom one, coming down, but it's not there's no indication that it's going to go all the way down, right? Can we take some profits there, or we go down before the entry? We just wait for it to touch.
So if you're looking to sell, your indication is actually a candle forming past this indicator line, the neckline you were talking about. Right?
Okay.
So until that, we cannot confirm a double top happen, because
Okay.
it can reverse, it can go up anytime as well.
Yeah.
So if it
Okay.
passes, so my indicator is basically once we have this indicator line, a resistance or a support, the candle close below that in the top scenario confirms that yes, we confirm this trend. Again, can get invalidated. We have the indicator I use is like, yeah, it passes that, and yeah, time frame to confirm. Yeah, can out. We just have a just quick fake out, and just they're just trying to liquidate some of the people enter before the market.
I think we kind of lost his connection is not that good, I guess. Samira, we lost you there for a sec. Yeah, I think he's not there. Okay, he's back. Oh, he's back. Yeah, he's back now. Samira, can you hear us?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, sorry, my internet's playing out. I got
Yeah.
disconnected. So
Okay, yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, you can share the screen kindly.
Yeah,
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know how far you guys heard. Yeah, so what I
maybe you had to start again. I don't think we heard much. Sorry.
Okay, so from the question, what my indicator is, you can see that just above the dotted line, the indicator line, which is the support which held in the neckline, and once it goes past that, that's where the confirmation of double top happening. Right? It's not when it turns from the top. Yeah, we may have these two equivalent tops happening, but if it doesn't come all the way to the indicator line, and it can turn back and go up anytime. Right? So to confirm a double top, the main line I'm looking at is just the dotted line above the entry, where we had the previous support. And once we break the support, a candle open and close outside that, for me, it confirms, yeah, we reverse the trend and it's going down. So at that time, you can take some profit. And this is really when trading, you just waiting for it to open close to open a short on the market. If it's an uptrend, you don't want to go against the market when you're trading. And if you want to open a short, you're waiting basically for confirmation. So it might be slightly different when we already held it and you had accumulated profits. And if you want to take some profits, I think you can still take some profits up there. But as Lakal earlier said, don't go all in.
Yeah, and
so basically, sorry.
Yeah.
So basically, Samira, you're saying, sorry.
Yeah.
So basically, Samira, you're saying we can basically DC and take some profit on the top, thinking that it may go down, and then say 10% or something, and then go as it goes down, we can go on till the entry point. And entry point, we get a confirmation there in the line neckline where it may go down, right? It may go down, and then we can use that as an entry point plus take some profit as well, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what I see, these I mostly use in the trading, basically, whether you want to long the market or short the market, right? You want to open a new trade. So these patterns are very useful. But obviously, if we actually do spot trading, like if you buy, wait for market to go up and to sell.
Samir, what sort of a chart we're looking at? Hourly chart, 2 hourly chart, weekly chart, daily chart? What are we looking at?
So what the books say is like you shouldn't use them in the very small charts, like anything below daily. You shouldn't check for these kind of patterns because these patterns need a bit more time to stabilize, give like a solid indicator. If you're looking at 5-minute chart, you will see these patterns getting invalidated very often because one big sell, one big buy can influence the pattern. But if you look at daily or weekly or higher, you are more certain that not just one big sell or buy, but the market is behaving in a such a way. So my recommendation is always look at a bigger time frame, daily or
Thank
higher.
you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. Let's move on in the interest of time. I think we can keep discussing over the week as well. If something comes up, we can do the channel, just interest of time. So very similar one. We talked about, I think last week I couldn't join, but the week before we talked about the rising and falling wedges. So the falling, what we discussed are the triangles. The falling and rising wedges are very similar to triangles if you absorbed what we've been discussing. But here, how we read the market from these is, let's say, a bullish trend from a falling wedge. So what happens here is like in the bottom trend line, buyers try to buy in and go up, and the top trend line sellers trying to push the prices down. And what is happening here is like buyers comes in as the wedge forms. Buyers comes in earlier than expected because they increase the confidence and they're coming and buying in early and they're trying to push. If it's a proper trend line, like a symmetrical trend line, the bottom line usually goes symmetrical to top one, but you can see it's narrowing down. It's narrowing down like a triangle, but it won't meet very soon. And it may break out before the triangle get formed. But we can see that the buying pressure in a downtrend, buying pressure is increasing and it can go up at any time. And once you see it breaks out to the top, it confirms, yes, this is a bullish trend and buyers could overtake the sellers in this scenario and market can go up. And if you want to open a trade, good position to open is once it breaks this trend line, or some may wait until it comes back and retest the trend line. We can see a lot of scenarios. It breaks out, comes back, retest the trend line and going in. So you can wait for that as well. And sometimes it comes, sometimes it's not. In that case, what we do is to actually put a stop loss to make sure that it doesn't, you put a stop loss either below this trend line as book says, or you can even go a bit brave. If you see a pattern, reversal pattern inside this diagram, I couldn't really find a good example for that one, but if you find a reversal inside this wedge, you can actually use a bit higher stop loss as well. It's really based on how the transaction's happening and how confident you are. But once this trend line, the bottom trend line met, like most of the time, once it break out, especially after retest, unlikely it comes back straight down. So you get a really good indication that our trend got reversal, it's going back up. Similar to this example, what this example shows as well here. So it is, there are wedge, there are fake outs. You can always see these fake outs. Yeah, we consider the wicks, but we avoid these kind of fake outs because the big cells can just create those. And you're waiting to see, yeah, it's forming up this wedge, the downtrend, it reducing, and once a breakout happens, you can expect it to go higher. And if you want to get an indication, what they basically do is like get the formation of this wedge as an indication to measure how far it safely goes, so you can actually mark a point to start taking profit. Like you can put a stop loss, sorry, the take profit 1, take profit 2, like you sell 25%, in the first line, and then move your stop loss to your starting point and keep the remaining running. So these kind of things you can do in a trade. Obviously, this spot trading as well, you can get an indication when you want to see if you want to DCA buy, you can start buying once this kind of formation set up, because we know that it's going to go up. We can take some profit. I mean, there's a good possibility, I would say, like not
it's not
guarantee.
not a guarantee.
Yeah. So these are like observations. People observe them, identified, markets behaves in this way in majority of the cases. And that's why we need other indicators, other things to look in parallel to confirm this kind of trends. So that's another reversal pattern, rising and falling wedges. And the head and shoulder pattern, I think it's a very popular pattern as well. So what we see here is similar to double tops, a head and shoulder forming. So it tried to go up, come down, hits the support, it goes further up, passing and creates a higher high, and then comes down, hit the support, creates a lower high, and starts coming down. We're waiting for the same indicator line as a double top, and the same type of stop losses there. And again, once it goes down, there is a chance it comes back, tests this support earlier, now becomes resistance and start going down. So as you can see in a couple of graphs, I just found some examples as well. Yeah. Head and shoulder patterns, I think these kind of patterns forming you can see. And again, it's not as neat as the diagram. So what book says, you have to interpret those. With most of the things, you have to interpret. You have to remove fake outs. You have to identify, this looks like the pattern it's forming. And you actually, in this example, I got this pattern didn't form yet. So we identified a pattern and we actually waiting. We draw these lines, we're waiting to see whether it breaks. If it doesn't break, it invalidates our argument, it goes back. So we're waiting for a confirmation. And as soon as we see a confirmation, we can put a higher bet on that. So that means like it confirms our prediction to the market, and a lot of people may wait. And let's say people holding that, they may be afraid. They may actually get a selling pressure as well. So that actually confirms the pattern, because a lot of people looking at these patterns and it naturally starts falling down. Yeah. So, and again, you measure from the top of the head to the neckline to get an indication of how far we going down and where to do the sells. Oh, sorry, where if it's a buy order in this kind of short market, sorry, the sell order, where to do the buys, etc. You get a measurement. It's always good to identify these and kind of having an idea of what we are expecting, so we can actually take a decision. We can again sell some and let the others run, because we sell enough, so we cover all our spend plus some profits, and the remaining is like we basically let it run, because whatever it's going to give us below this line is additional profits, right? So that's how usually you play out in this kind of markets. Yeah, so those are the key reversal patterns I wanted to bring today, like the head and shoulders, falling and rising wedges, as well as double tops and double bottoms. You usually tend to turn the market, the trend into the reversal order, so we can get an idea what to do in this kind of situation. Yeah, that's pretty much I got today, and I think feel free to ask any questions. Otherwise, I think I'll probably let Laka continue on all the other topics, given you're already over the time.
Yeah, Shamira, thanks a lot. That's a lot of good information. So this is mainly for trading, right? I mean, so one question I have: if you look, when you look at the Bitcoin price action right now, say in a weekly time frame or even like a daily time frame, are we seeing a double top or something in that vicinity, or are we seeing something like that, or what do you think right now?
sorry, I didn't actually look into the chart.
Oh, okay. You know,
Yeah.
like my point is like, remember we've seen like Bitcoin went up to like 65K and we've seen like a correction back down to 30 and now it's gone back up to like 67, but it hasn't gone so far away from the previous high. So if
Yeah,
we
so
mm,
bit of speculation there. What people
mm,
say is like 67 and 69. The previous we hit 67 if I'm not wrong, and
mm,
went down all the way to 30 and
mm,
came back to 69. And a lot of people, actually, one of my friends also kept on saying, "Hey, why are you buying in? It's a double top."
yeah,
Like usually, it's pretty close. Like once
yeah,
there's only $2,000 gap, so one
yeah,
can interpret that as a double top as well.
yeah, yeah, but,
And there's different arguments. Some people say,
mm,
yeah, we don't consider it a double top, right? So, but we
mm,
saw a reversal happening there.
mm. So it's
So
kind
that's
of
the
very
reason.
hard to say, right? Whether it's like a clear double top. It's we need
Yeah.
maybe
So
some
one
time.
reason I'm not taking it as a double top is usually in double tops we see it doesn't actually go past previous high. It
Okay.
either
Okay.
comes
Yeah.
into the same lines. Like obviously we don't have dollar to dollar,
Yeah.
but usually they have like a very close lower high it actually
Mm.
making, not higher high in most of the cases. And as it says in the books,
Yeah.
they usually say they cannot reach the previous high and getting rejected at that. That's what it says,
Yeah. Okay.
basically,
Yeah.
right? So this went to 69, but again, that can be an indication of like everyone expecting this to not become a double top as soon as some people actually institution push it a couple of $1,000 higher,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
right? You
true.
can
Yeah.
trap a lot more people
Yeah.
than
Yeah. Yeah.
actually
True.
failing at 65 exactly, right? Or
Yeah. That's
67
true.
exactly.
Yeah. So something we need to wait and see what will happen. Like probably in December. By end of December, we'll probably know, right? Because there's more week,
Yeah,
1.5
definitely. Yeah.
months from here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it was pretty strong as well. It pushed back to 60 again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
know we have a psychological point as soon as it hits 60,
Yeah.
like
True.
from 50s to 60s. So it's going to get there. It's like more than a resistance in the price action. It's more like a psychological resistance as well.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
in 50s, we don't want to go to 60s, kind of, right?
Yeah.
So
True.
because of that, I think by next week we will know. If
Yeah.
it's a reversal, it's going to go back fast.
Yeah. True. Okay, Chamila, thanks for your input. Okay, so let's look at the next topic. Yeah, I just want to briefly mention about higher interest rates. Like, I mean, we discussed about high interest rates from a long time, like even a few years ago, even when they were at like really like low levels, right? And we've seen like lowest levels since like 1950s or something like that in Australia. So interest rates are going higher. We can see higher inflation. So this in the future we might see RBA will be probably forced to increase interest rates. If that happens, like we might see a bit of a cool down like for the housing market. Or who knows, like if they don't want to see the housing market cools down a bit, they might go into like negative interest rates. So if that happens, it could push the housing market like a lot higher. So we've already seen negative interest rates in Germany, in some countries up there, but let's wait and see. But seems like there's more probability that they might increase interest rates. And given that New Zealand has RBA, Reserve Bank of New Zealand has already increased interest rates in New Zealand, the trend is like looks like the central bank's gonna increase interest rates in the future. So be prepared for that. Like I mean, maybe it's too late. Probably like maybe to fix your mortgage rate. But if there's a possibility, you could consider that at least like fix part of it and then keep part variable. So at least you have some kind of a control in case like if you see high interest rates in the future. So that's number 4. And number 5, let's quickly look at gold and silver charts. Let me just share the screen. Yeah, so I mention this every single day. When you think about gold and silver, it's physical asset that you can hold in your hands. anything else, Bitcoin, share market, nothing else, like, it's on the internet. If something goes wrong with the internet, like, it might not happen. The probability of that's happening could be like very less, but still, if there's a scenario like where we see no internet connection at all, like, you cannot access your laptop or phone, or for some reason, then your physical gold and having physical gold and physical silver in your hand will be like really valuable. So this is like a asset class that I've been accumulating for years now. So you always supposed to have a little bit of gold and silver, 10 to 20% in your asset, diversified asset portfolio, which is very important. So I mentioned this few times. This is the gold / silver. So gold against silver chart. So I mentioned this few times, like whenever you see higher prices on this chart, because it's here, you can see here gold / silver. So whenever you see higher prices for gold, for like on this chart, that's the good time to buy silver. That means against gold, silver is a lot cheaper. But if you see lower prices somewhere over here, that means it's a good time to accumulate gold. The meaning gold is comparatively, to compare to silver, gold is a lot cheaper. So here you buy gold, and then up here you can accumulate silver right here. And you can use the RSI, this is the relative strength indicator, meaning if you see higher prices for relative RSI, relative strength index, that means there's a lot of bullish momentum. That means prices are going higher and it's staying up there. So you can use that indicator as well. So you buy silver here. If you want to use this specific indicator along with the price action, and you buy gold when RSI goes down to below 30 level or 20 level. Yeah, so that's that. And then
Sorry, quick question, Laka.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you trade? Let's say if you get gold against silver, and if it's turn around, do you actually sell silver to buy gold, or?
Yeah, you can actually do that. You can just say you have like physical silver, like, for long term, and but apart from that, let's say you want to trade gold and silver, there are some exchanges where you can swap gold to silver, silver to gold. So as you can see here, we've seen 120 for the, if you look at the price action, it went all the way up to 120. That would have been like a really good time for someone to switch all your gold into silver, because silver was a lot cheaper compared to gold. And when it comes down, you do the exact opposite, and you keep on like making money like that. But normally this is the weekly chart, so it's long term. Say like from here to here, you probably you're looking at years, right? So
Yeah.
but if you physical gold and silver holder, this would 2011 would have been like a really good time for you to buy gold and hold it. And probably last year, like during the COVID crash, it would have been like a really good time for you to buy silver. But yeah, like even on smaller time frames, let's say for example 4-hour time frame, you still can do this. Like if you really want, you are, allowed to do that. If you can find like I've seen some exchanges where you can swap, the way we swap Bitcoin to XRP to ETH. Likewise, you can just swap gold to silver. So you can do that. And even on the smaller time frames, you can just swap this, looking at this gold to silver ratio. So lot of people, most people, like experienced traders, even investors, they always look at this gold / silver price action, because it gives you a lot of information. Okay, so so this is gold and silver. So I'm not going to specifically go into gold and silver, gold chart, but last week we looked at gold chart on the monthly time frame, and we've seen like a massive cup and handle. So that could be something that might happen in the future. So that's why, like, if you have gold, if you already got Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, or if you have shares, it's always better to have some gold in case something goes wrong. If Bitcoin market, say Bitcoin corrects, and then if it's like a double top, if it's double top, then with Bitcoin corrects, who knows, like in the meantime, gold might go up in value. So you can then it'll probably give you like opportunity for you to sell gold and use that money to buy Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin goes up, you can sell Bitcoin and buy gold. So you can do vice versa. And by diversifying one few asset classes, by taking profit, you can increase your wealth. So that's something. I'm not gonna look at the gold and gold chart right now, but as I mentioned last week, there's a massive cup and handle which might pan out, but it might take a few months because it's on the monthly chart. So you can looking at mid next year or probably towards the end of next year or so. Okay, so this is let's look at Dow Jones. I mean, the reason why I know most people here, like, they're interested, like, looking at Bitcoin price action and all coins, but let's not forget, Bitcoin is just one asset class and another market, right? And whenever you see Dow Jones, Nasdaq tend to drop in value, like, traditional share markets, when they go down, it affects Bitcoin price action. So that's why we try to cover everything. So not just by looking at Bitcoin price action as a whole, because then if you see some correction in the share market, then you wouldn't have a clue until you see like a massive correction in the Bitcoin price action due to traditional market downturns. So Dow Jones, it's still not looking bad actually. So if I just put like a trend line, like that, it probably got rejected over here, but still, as you can see, we still got a higher high and yeah, we still have like a higher low. So still this market is bullish unless something crazy happens. So there's like a bit of support here, like this is the previous top. So it's kind of like trying to have support around 35,600 or so. So hopefully we don't want to see Dow Jones like have a bigger correction, right? If we see like a 20% correction or like even like a 10% correction, that will affect the price of Bitcoin. So this is the 4-hour chart. So let's go to a bigger time frame, which is like daily. Yeah, on the daily chart, as you can see, RSI is kind of like going down at the moment. So this is not a bad thing. I would like to see it come all the way back down to like 20 or so. So then at least we know Dow Jones had like a bit of a correction, which is good enough. And just to like, get out of this overbought territory. So whenever you see this is the RSI, the blue line we looking at right now. Whenever you see it's above 70, that means there's a lot of bullishness like this. And if it goes above 70 or to 80 or something, there's over bullishness. That means majority of people expecting higher prices. And that's like a really good time for you to sell and take some profit. And if you see it goes below 30, back down to 20, like, some area over here. So that's what happened during COVID market crash. We've seen it drop all the way back like to like 15. That would have been like a really good opportunity for people to get in. It would have been like a really buy opportunity, and see like after that we can see the market has recovered and it's gone up by about like 90, what's like 95, about 100%. So it doubled. So if someone put some money during the COVID crash, you could have doubled your money through the share market. Yeah, so share market hopefully it's not going to go down so much. I would like to see RSI come back down to like maybe oversold levels, and then that means we have a lot of room for the for upside. And let's quickly look at the weekly chart as well. Yeah, so if you look at the weekly chart, we are kind of like overbought still, like still overbought. It's around like 58, but not too bad. I would like to see it come back down to like below 50-40. Even if we have like a maybe 5% correction, it's not too bad, but we don't want to see like severe correction. If you see a severe correction on traditional market, then it'll affect the Bitcoin price. It'll drop a lot harder because Bitcoin price is a lot volatile, like, compared to the share market. So that's that. Let me look at the topic quickly. Topics. Yeah, gold and silver we just looked at. Dow Jones, Dixie. Yeah, this is really important as well. Switch it back to this one. BTC. Yeah, so let me just click on this one. Okay, so this is the dollar chart. So this is the US dollar chart. So this is something that we need to keep an eye on all the time. Whenever we seen a bull trend for dollar, US dollar, right? We've seen other asset classes tend to go down in value. So higher US dollar, that means it's like a deflationary kind of event, meaning like everybody's looking for US dollars, so they sell all the assets, like say share market, Bitcoin goes down in value, even gold and silver they sell, and they look for US dollars. So when you see this kind of a situation, when you're in this kind of situation, dollar tend to go up in value. So for example, this is the COVID during COVID. This is what happened. Dollar US dollar just went up from 88 all the way up to 103. So that's what we've seen during the COVID crash. And since then, we have seen, I think Chamila discussed this pattern today. See, there's a double bottom happening right here, which is like a bullish, something bullish, like a W. So there's a W right here. So, this is the neckline, it broke out and then looks like it's going higher. But if you look at the weekly RSI, it's kind of like going to overbought territory, which is a good thing. So maybe dollar needs to cool down a bit for like few weeks, maybe like, a couple of months or so, it needs to cool down a bit. So this is the weekly chart, at least for a month. That would give enough time for even for Bitcoin to go up in value. So, but we haven't seen higher US dollar and the higher Bitcoin at the same time. It's very rare. We've seen like here and there, but Bitcoin, it's not easy for Bitcoin to fight against the US dollar. So when US dollar goes up in value, Bitcoin tend to go down in value. So this is something, a chart that you can keep an eye on. It's very important. Like even it tells you actually what's going on in the real market. So if you see higher US dollar, that means that maybe that's why we are having a bit of a correction in Dow Jones and then a correction in the Bitcoin price at the moment. Yep. So that's that. Okay. So let's have a look at the Bitcoin price action right now. Okay. So let me just get rid of all this what I've drawn last week. Yep. Yeah. So let me just switch off dark mode. Yeah. So it's kind of bright now, but you can see clearly, I guess. So this is what we've seen so far. This is the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin. Let's look at the weekly chart. Yeah, so this is the weekly chart we're looking at right now. So yeah, we have like a bigger correction right here, but yeah, so as Shamira mentioned earlier, like we cannot consider it as a double top as yet, but in the future, if you see Bitcoin comes back down, and then if it breaks, I mean, it's a long way down. If it comes all the way, this is the neckline right here, somewhere over here. Let's say the neckline is around 31,000 for BTC. If it comes back down to like 30,000 and it breaks below, yeah, then of course it's a double top we can consider, but it's a long way down. But by the time it get to 30,000, forget about all coins, right? All coins will bleed a lot harder. So hopefully it's not going to happen. Right now we all want to see higher Bitcoin price. If you look at the RSI, it's kind of cooling off a bit, which is a good thing. It's somewhere near 60. I would like to see it like cool down below 50 or so. That would give enough time for the price to cool down, and then you'll see a lot of buyers get in, like and then they might see this as a bargain. So either it has to consolidate here for some time, or we need to see a higher high, because it's somewhere. If we look at the daily chart, as you can see, yeah. So the one good thing is this black line right here. This is the 200-day moving average. So we are like a lot higher, like compared to 200-day moving average, which is like $46,000. So even if it comes back down to 40,000, 45, 6,000, we can still consider we are in a bull market. So as long as Bitcoin is about this black line right here, which is the 200-day moving average, we can consider we are in a bull market. So this is like the bull market support band. So anything above here is bullish. Everything below this black line is bearish. So things are not looking bad, like, at the moment, given that we are about 200-day moving average and also 21-week moving average. So I can show you that as well quickly. So if we go to weekly chart, and then I need to change this to 21. So this is the weekly chart. So I'm going to change it to 21 weeks. Yeah, so 21-week moving average is somewhere near 48,000. So we have a lot of support around 50K also. Even if it comes back down, we have a lot of support. So this is the time that we need to have like, a neutral kind of a mindset. Like, don't, just because we had a correction, we don't need to be like, really bearish and expect like, lot lower prices like 20K or something. We just day by day, you look at the price, and then this is the time for us to have USDT and accumulate it little by little, and for long term, right? Just because we have a candle, it doesn't mean like, this is finished, right? I mean, it'll recover. We've seen this so many times. Given that, if you look at the weekly chart, and this is the weekly chart. So yeah, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So out of 7 weeks, we had like 6 green candles. So it's natural for us to see a red candle, like, because we've seen so many green candles. And then let's not forget, Bitcoin went up from 40K all the way up to 68, 69,000 from 40K. So that's a massive pump, right? So towards 70K. So whenever we see something similar to this, we normally tend to see a cool off, or it comes back down to retest a bull market support band. So if you look at weekly chart, yeah, there's a possibility. I mean, when Bitcoin was at 68,000, right, the probability of it's coming back down to retest 21-week moving average or 200-day moving average would have been like 10%. But given that now we have a bit of a correction, the chances, the probability of it's going to go back down to 48,000 or 50K to retest the support band, there's a higher probability that maybe now it's about like 40%, 50% chance might go down. But let's not forget, we have a lot of support around like 53,000 also. So I would like to see it comes back down to 53. It would have been better, because corrections are needed. Like, if you see like a straight line all the way, like, going to like 100K or something, the next thing even before you sell, it'll just correct like 80% or so. So I would like to see Bitcoin goes up, consolidate for a period, and let more buyers, give more time like for buyers to get in and push the price higher, and consolidate for some time and push the price higher. So we haven't seen that, because after 40, it just kept on going up straight. So when you see something like that, I would like to see, I would like to stay back a bit, like, have a bit of USDC. Don't get, as I mentioned earlier at the start of this session, don't get caught up in the hype. Like, if you really feel like you're missing out, just invest maybe 40%, but have like, if you feel really bad, okay, let's say go 50% and then have at least 50% USDT, because like, this hype not going to last long. And that's what we've seen, like, and then we went up to 68, 69. Now it's back, it came all the way back down to 55. See, there's a bigger correction from 70K. It's about like $15,000 drop. And now this is the time for us to DCA. Like, no, I don't mind DCAing right now. I mean, no financial advice. None of this is financial advice. I don't mind in these conditions. Like, I feel not comfortable like DC getting back into the market, because we've seen a correction. If it goes down further, back down to like say 40, 48, 49, just to test the bull market at 21-week moving average, it's perfect, right? I just keep on DCing. DCing means like you're not going to go all in. Let's say you have 10,000, you're not going to put all your money and buy Bitcoin right now. You just put like maybe $1,000. And if you see it comes back down to 55, add another $1,000. So likewise, you can accumulate. Even on the way up, if you see like a green candle and then a correction, you can add like, during the correction. So for example, as you can, this is the weekly chart. Even if you, let's look at the daily chart, so it looks a lot clearer. And let me just change this one to 200-day moving average. Okay, so this is the daily chart. So it's like from here to here, like you can see there's so many green candles. Bitcoin went all the way from 40K up to 66. Even this, during this uptrend, see, you have seen like, a little bit of red candles here and there, right? Even here, say, Bitcoin went up to around 56,000 and it dropped this a week. It dropped back down to 51. So even on an uptrend, you can DCA during corrections, right? I mean, on the way up, like on this green candle, if you buy Bitcoin at this green candle, next thing you know, it'll come back down and you feel worried. So when you see like green candles for 4 or 5 days, it's not a good time to DCA. I would rather DCA when I see a red candle like this. So if you look at this uptrend, see, these are the places where you can, even here, see this red candle here would have been like a great opportunity for us to DCA. Even after this green candle, you still seen another red candle. You can DCA there. You can DCA here. So likewise, and then on the way up, you can always, if you want to take profit, this would have been like a really good place to take profit. This would have been like a really good place to take profit. So how would you know like it's a good time to sell? You go and check the fear and greed index. That's like one indicator. You look at the fear and greed indicator for monthly, weekly, day, for yesterday and today, right? A week ago I looked at it. It was greed, extreme greed. If you see greed all over the place, and if you see a lot of hype, that's like an indicator for us to take some money out. So that doesn't mean you have to sell everything and expect price to come a lot lower. You just DCA sell as well. You can just DCA sell. So this is how I tackle the market. This is very important. So, but the good thing is, look at the RSI right now. It's cooled off a bit. It dropped all the way to 38. And this is a good thing, right? I want to see RSI cools off, comes down. Maybe, yeah, it came back. Yeah, if it goes even lower, that's fine. And if you look at the MACD, I'll change this one. Hold on a sec. Let's change the color. This one to black. Yeah, so hold on a sec.
By looking at the chart, is BTC heading down or up at the moment?
So right now,
Yeah.
So according to MACD on the daily, we are kind of seeing like selling is kind of going away. As you can see here, this we can see we're seeing there's dark red candles, and now it has turned a little bit lighter. So that's like a good sign. And also, I'm glad to see RSI that has come down a bit over here. And then we had like we explained this one a few weeks ago. There was a massive bearish divergence, meaning RSI is kind of going down and the price is going up. So this is like an indicator, another indicator to say price might come down. See, like RSI is going down, right? Price is going higher. So that would have been like a really good indication for us around this area to say, okay, maybe it's not a bad time for us to take some profit, especially around this area. But that's fine. Like, I mean, we can always DCA. If you're here for long term, no need to worry, you can DCA for long term. But yeah, see, I'm glad that we've seen 2 green candles right here. So it bounced back from 55K. There's a lot of support around 55K, and then there's a lot of support around 53 as well. So even if it comes back down to 53, that should be okay, I guess. Yeah, but I would like to see it consolidate for some time. let's see what will happen, like probably end of November and then end of December or so. It has cooled down a lot. So it has come down all the way from 77 back down to 39, and now it's at 44. So it's looking good short term, unless something crazy happened to the share market, right? Share market goes down all of a sudden, then we might see it might come back down to retest this bull band support, and hopefully it'll hold this bull band support, like 48. There's a lot of support around 48. So if it breaks, if it comes back down, there's a lot of support at 55 and again at 53. If it breaks that, it might come back down to 48 to 46 areas. We have 200-day moving average and 21-week moving average as well as support. So this is we have a lot of support. Like now, even if Bitcoin comes down to 50K, it's not a bad thing, right? I mean, then it'll give more time for people to get in, and then we'll see higher prices in 2022. So we are here for a long term, like here for like to like we hardly do like trading. Like, so if you're a long term investor, the correction that we're seeing right now, it's a blessing. So I really would like to see that, even if it corrects a little bit further and then comes back down to retest these lines, then it'll give us more time, more opportunity, like to DCA to Bitcoin price, and then even altcoins might cool off a bit, but then we can DCA altcoins as well. Okay, so that's the Bitcoin price action. So it's already 9:30. Yeah, so next few months, what I would like to see Bitcoin stay in this area, like between 55 to 60,000, this area. Like even if it comes back to 50K, I'm still okay with that, as long as it's not going to go below this 200-day moving average and go into like a bear market. So hopefully not happen. Now the correction we seen right now, it's a good thing. A lot of people, like they're expecting 100K Bitcoin in December. So who knows, it might still happen, but we have to wait and see. The probability of it's happening right now is getting less by the day. So by end of November, we might see, hopefully if we see like 60-70,000, of course, then we might see 100K in December, but the chances of we are seeing it now, it's a bit slim, but we have to wait and see.
So
okay, yeah,
if the interest rate rises, that's how that gonna affect it will.
Yeah, if interest rate goes up, it's not going to be good for the share markets, because they want to see like lower interest rates so that they can borrow money from central banks, and these people who like the people who own all the shares, like got a lot of the corporations, they can go back to the central banks, borrow more money, and they can do share buybacks. They can keep on buying shares at a lower rate, like 1% or 0.1% interest rate. So they pay like very less interest, so they can keep on borrow money and keep on buying more assets. But interest rate goes up, that's the indication the market's not going to like it. Like then the share market will drop. Like we could see, because it's at a lowest rates, like for decades. So if it goes back up, we'll see probably 10 to 20% correction in the share market. And if that happens, then yeah, Bitcoin might drop as well. So we don't want to see high interest rates, like in the short term. Like maybe if we have like if there's like 6 months, that would have been good enough for Bitcoin to do whatever it needs to do, and we can take profits and get out of the market. We need like just 6 months. But within that time, if something like something that we don't like a tsunami or like some crazy thing happen, like COVID or new variant or something like that, anything's possible these days, right? I mean, look what's happening in Sydney, right? We got stuck in Sydney for how many months? Like 3 months. So we can expect anything to happen. So if that's some crazy, like unexpected, some scenario happens, like yeah, then we might see a bigger correction, and then we don't want to see high interest rates, definitely.
Again, this will not like this will affect like if the US interest rate rise. It has nothing to do with Australia, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it has to be. It's always US interest rates. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so yeah, we covered a lot so far. Now let's look at the all coins. So as you guys know, this metaverse tokens, like it's very popular at the moment. NFTs, like people made a lot of money from NFTs, and you can see Decentraland, Sandbox, like you've seen this kind of coins just going up crazy, because now it's too late, they're going up so much. I remember seeing Mana for about like less than $1, like a few cents or so back in the day, but I did not buy any, like, so it's okay. That's the way it is. So, but Metaverse, it's really popular, but at the moment, I'm seeing like really cheap coins so far. The few that I've been accumulating for the past, say, a week, a couple of weeks, maybe like 3 weeks or so. The first coin is Meta Hero. So as you can see, it's on KuCoin. There's an exchange called KuCoin. You can go and buy this coin over there. I mean, again, no financial advice. Do your due diligence. It could go to zero. So this one, there's not much data on this because it's recently been added to KuCoin. But I've seen this one like probably way back for less than a cent, right? It used to be very cheap, but right now people looks like it got a bit popular, and then people betting on it and expecting higher prices. So this is something I've been accumulating. I have no financial advice. I'm not asking anyone to buy this, but I've been accumulating this one for some time now. I just got some around like below 10 cents, so now it's gone up a little. In this area I added some around 9 cents. I added some. Yeah, so this they have a really good project. If you go to Coin Market Cap and then type Meta Hero, and then you can do more due diligence, like you can do a bit more research. What they really do, they have their own website, so they have really good plans for the future. So this coin, it hasn't gone up much, so this is something we can accumulate and hold it as a long-term investment. So who knows, we might go to like like if you look at what we seen for Mana, it's just gone up to like $4. So we might see the same thing for this coin in the future, but it might need some time. If you see they list this coin on Coinbase or Binance, we'll see a lot higher prices, because there's a lot of demand, and there's a lot of people like buyers that can access these coins in the future. So that's Meta Hero, and then the next one is, this is called Multiverse. The ticker is AI. It's on KuCoin as well. So as you can see, this is the 4-hour chart. So nothing concrete, but if you look at the daily chart, there's not much information. But still, yeah, this is okay. Yeah, this is all right. Yeah. So I mean, last week we discussed Fibonacci. So I used Fibonacci on this one because I did not buy it around these areas. Like I did not buy it around like 2-3 cents or even below that. So during the when Bitcoin dumped a bit, I just used the Fibonacci tool, and from this breakout point, I've done the used the Fibonacci tool, and as you can see, it just came back down, and it went back, dropped below 0.618. So which is 0.618 is the golden retracement. So if you see a price going up crazy like this, and it just went up from 2 cents all the way up to about like 7 cents. So it's a considerable pump if you consider. I mean, yeah. So since then it dropped back, and then this candle would have been like a really good entry point for a long-term investor. So I actually bought some around this area, but still it's still cheap. And yeah, even I just got it around probably 4 cents, and below 4 cents it even dropped to like 3-4. So in this area I added some. From 3.5 cents to like 4 cents I added some. Now it's kind of like going up, but still it's still cheap, like it's just few cents up, like US dollar terms. So this is something you can I mean, no financial advice. If you looking at metaverse tokens, this is one of the coins that you can look at and do your due diligence if you want to buy it. So no financial advice. So that's Hero, AI. They're all on KuCoin. You need to go. It's an exchange. You need to you can register, like open up an account under your name, and then you can send some USDT and buy coins over there. So that's that. And the next one is
you need to probably have a good risk tolerance as well, because if Bitcoin comes down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's why I said this is not financial advice. So if Bitcoin, that as we discussed earlier, so that's a very good point, Samir. And if Bitcoin comes down, because we are seeing maybe it's a double top, maybe not. So if you see Bitcoin drops to like 50,000 or even 40,000, 30,000, if it goes into like a bear market, these coins will get slaughtered, right? You will probably see this drop to like maybe less than a cent, and this probably like disappear for some time. So you got to be very careful whenever if you want to buy these coins, you have to DCA.
And Lakal, the other point, it would be not just going down. It may also disappear if it goes to a bear market. So
Yeah,
this is
of course.
something we
Yeah.
have to be very cautious.
Yeah, because people who made these coins, they already made their money, right? Simple as that. Because
That's right.
if you look at the history, the first time when they
Let's start as usual with a new email. You'll notice that my signature auto-populated. This is how I have this.
yeah. So the people who made these coins, right? They probably, I've seen this on some pancake swap or something for like 0.001 or something. So people who bought these coins at that time, they already made money. They probably sold, right? So we could say we are a little bit early compared to Mana and Sandbox. We are early, but who knows? It depends on Bitcoin price. So when you DCA these coins, you got to be very careful. Always have some USDT. And then when you add these coins, I'm not asking anyone to just go and buy these coins. You need to have 50 to 60% in your portfolio in Bitcoin, 20 to 30% in your portfolio in Ethereum. The rest you can go and just play with these altcoins. So that's really important. And thank you, Chamira and Shihan, for reminding me this. So under those conditions, yes, you can DCA, but you have to have Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then you can't have like 60% of this coin on your portfolio, man. That's not going to look good if the Bitcoin price going to come down a lot. Okay, so there's AI Meta Hero. There was another coin I was looking at. Oh, yeah, block. This is this is another coin. So it's sitting around like 10 cents. So it looks like it's going to come back down a bit. Fibonacci, I did the Fibonacci. Oh, yeah, this is from the day they listed this coin on KuCoin. So yeah, so I bought some around like probably in this area or so, like when it comes back, it came all the way back down to 618. Or this is upside down, so this should be 618. So it came back down to this candle is probably hit 618, and it even went below. So these coins I'm looking at right now, like whenever I can, depending on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin drops a lot, I'll just forget about all coins. Okay, yeah, I need to mention this. So if Bitcoin comes down, you forget about all coins, you start adding Bitcoins. You buy Bitcoin, you DCA Bitcoin. If Bitcoin keeps on going down, like you DCA Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes like extremely high, like you see like a massive pump, 5,000, 10,000 pump for Bitcoin, then there's no point chasing Bitcoin. Then you go for all coins, because when Bitcoin goes up a lot higher, people tend to sell all coins and they tend to buy Bitcoin, and it gives you like a really good opportunity for you to buy all coins, including Ethereum. But when Bitcoin drops, you'll see the whole market goes down, including all coins. So in that kind of scenario, if you're a long-term investor, then you go into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin goes down, invest in you can invest in Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes up crazy, then let people sell all coins, and because people feel like they're missing out because they did not buy any Bitcoin, so they'll sell their all coins to buy Bitcoin. At that time, you can enter. You can look at all coins, and you can DCA all coins. So these three meta tokens, Metaverse tokens, I'm looking at the moment, and I already DCA them. in the future, if it goes down, depending on Bitcoin price, I'll accumulate them and hold them for future as an investment.
Laka, when you draw the Fibonacci tracement, what exactly you are taking the bottom? You can see like the whatever you say you can see is the bottom candle.
Mhm.
You take it from there and just draw all the way up.
Yeah. So this is actually, you cannot say this is, I cannot say this is accurate because this token, this is the day it added to KuCoin. So they don't have any data before that day, right? So this is the first day they added. So this might not be really accurate. But if that kind of scenario, for example, I think we looked at SLP, and then if you look at SLP, there's not much data. So in that kind of scenario, you can look at these coins against Ethereum. So this one is on, what's that? I forgot the name of the coin. What's that coin called? I forgot the name of that coin. This is not an Ethereum token. This is Matic. Yeah, this is on a Matic chain. So if you don't have much data, because this token, if it's on Matic chain, they launch it on Matic chain. So you can, the best way if you want more data is to look at this token against Matic, just like we looked at SLP against Ethereum. But then you have more data. So I did not bother looking at it, but you can do that. So this is on a different chain, on a Matic chain. And then there's a lot of positive news for Matic as well. So if Matic price goes up, this will follow its trend. So that's why I've been accumulating this. But again, given that share market, Bitcoin is not going to go down like 10, 20, 30%, right? So you have to DCA, don't go all in, have some USDT, regardless of the market condition, always have some USDT. So you don't feel worried, like the market goes down, you can always accumulate. So yeah, Metaverse, AI, Multiverse, and Blocktopia. It's called Blocktopia, Block is the ticker. And I also accumulated this coin, like Telcoin. This is like a, this is like Ethereum token. So I've been just for fun. They have a pretty good, it's a pretty good project, right? It's something to do with telecommunication, because given that I'm from the same industry, I felt like, okay, maybe just, buy some just for fun. Yeah, so see, it's pumped a lot and then it's been going down. So around 18 cents, I've added some DCA, some just in case, just for fun. I'm buying it and I'm going to hold it for some time. As you can see, it tends to have this massive spike. This is the daily chart. Yeah, so it has come down a lot. So I mean, look at that. So you can do you can draw a Fibonacci on this as well, from this breakout point somewhere over here. Yeah, so yeah, it has come down a lot actually. Maybe I have to go down a bit. Yeah, from here, let's go from here. Yeah, so it has cooled off a lot. So so one stage it hit probably what 6 cents or so, 6.5 cents, and since then it has come down a lot. And maybe this is not a bad time to accumulate again, given that Bitcoin not going to do anything crazy. Yeah, so these coins I'm just accumulating just for fun, because Metaverse, let's not forget, Mark Zuckerberg is going to change his name, like Facebook to Meta. So he know what's gonna happen in the future. So these coins will probably have a lot of demand in the future. So that's what we might see in the future. So they are not bad coins to accumulate if you want to. Do your not financial advice, no financial advice. Do your due diligence. Okay, so that's it from my end. Any other coins all coins you wanna look at? We probably have like 10-15 minutes or so. I quickly go through them if you wanna look at it. Otherwise,
Just one thing mention there.
Yeah.
When you look at Block, there is like another one called Block. So just be careful. Look at the right name.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's BLOK. K for kite. not below C. Yeah, you're right, Samir. You're correct. Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, anything else you guys want to discuss? Any other coins you want to discuss? So yeah, so if you like say brand new to the market, just simply DCA Bitcoin, right? Start from Bitcoin. Don't look at any of these old coins, because even if Bitcoin goes down, you can hold it for long term, right? I mean, if you just start off with something like this coin or so, like if Bitcoin goes down, it'll drop a lot harder. So don't bet too much on all coins right now, given that the market is 50-50, and then there's like we don't know whether it's a double top. Who knows if there's some kind of a uh, event that we don't expect, or let's say some World War III or whatever it is, China going against Taiwan or whatever happens, yeah, then we might see a bigger correction, or like a new variant. Might see a correction. So it's always better to right now, DC a little bit, and then but I'm always having some USDC just in case if the market goes down. So I have enough firepower to get in, so I don't feel bad, because when the market goes down, you're not going to buy, like you're worried, there's too much fear, you're not going to get in, and next thing you know, a few months later, market completely recovers and goes up higher into greed, RSI hit like 70, 80, Bitcoin goes to like 70, 80K, and then you feel bad. Oh, why didn't I buy when Bitcoin dropped? Why didn't I accumulate enough old coins when it was so lower, right? It went down so lower. So keep on DCing and make sure you always have a diversified asset portfolio. Add some little bit of gold and silver. You can buy digital gold and silver on CoinSpot, right? You can just go and look for AGS. So if you don't want to buy physical silver, at least you can buy digital silver and digital gold on CoinSpot. You can do that. You can search the term AGS for silver, AUS for gold. It's the same thing. So if silver goes up, this price will go up in value as well. You can do that, but let's not forget it's not physical, right? The whole point of having physical gold, you want to see it in your hand. Yeah.
You
So
know, the recent correction with the Bitcoin,
Mm.
it didn't really exactly affect meta coins, isn't it? Like normal other coins, how if been affected.
yeah, you're right, because we haven't seen much of a hype for these coins yet, right? So if you
Okay,
see, yeah, it's recently even this Meta Hero block, these coins recently people start talking about these coins. Most people still don't know about these coins. So we haven't seen like a massive hype. But if you've seen like a massive hype, 100 to 2x, 3x, 4x, then with this correction, we would have seen a lower prices for these coins. Given that it hasn't pumped much, there's not much to give away. So it's just sitting there, not doing much. But if you see Bitcoin drops, it'll affect these coins regardless.
Okay, yeah. I thought it's different concept, so it didn't really act how Bitcoin
No, yeah,
okay, yeah.
no. Yeah, see, Bitcoin is the god market. It's the god, right? So
Regardless, yeah, yeah.
whatever it does, it'll affect all the coins. Like it doesn't matter. Even Ethereum won't survive. If Bitcoin goes down, I can't remember seeing Bitcoin going down and Ethereum going up. I've never seen it. So it might not happen. 99% it might not happen. Yeah. Okay. So any other, if you want to discuss,
Sorry,
yeah.
yeah, what's your view on this MT Gox news?
Mount Gox.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that they're
Yeah. See.
releasing about
Mm.
100K Bitcoin or something.
Yeah, you're right. They done this before as well, and because of that, the price went down. So looks like they're gonna do it again. So normally they wait for this kind of a situation for the price to pump a lot harder, a lot higher, and then it gives them a good opportunity for them to dump. You know about the story about Mt. Gox, right? So they gone bankrupt back in 2013, and they were holding lot of bitcoins for people. And then now they're saying they people are asking for their bitcoins back. So now they're trying to uh, um, sell bitcoin and trying to pay back their clients. So that's what they're trying to do. It got hacked, so I mean, maybe it's got hacked by the same people who own it. So I don't know, but that's the story behind Mount Gox. So that's why when we I remember when I heard like Commonwealth Bank gonna do the same, right? They're gonna hold Bitcoin for us. Man, forget it, right? I mean, who knows? If they might simply come, let's say we buy Bitcoin on a Commonwealth Bank own exchange, and we leave our Bitcoins there, and then all of a sudden they might say, "Oh, we got hacked," and then you lose your Bitcoin. So I don't wanna like leave my coins on exchange or give it to like banks or Mt. Gox or anything like that. So whenever you buy coins, you make sure you have you buy a Trezor wallet, a Ledger Nano wallet, and make sure you keep them in there, and then make sure that you keep them away from the exchange, right? So something goes wrong, you have access, like to your coins,
So
right?
it's pretty much any coin you buying is possible to put into the Trezor. Is that right?
Yeah, like most of the Ethereum tokens, you can, if you have Ethereum, any Ethereum tokens, Bitcoin, you can put in your wallet. Apart from that, some like XRP, Dogecoin, you can still put them in the wallet as well. You can go to your website and double check. So I can just, for example, I actually have this is the Trezor wallet. This is a new Trezor wallet. I have this, and this is the Trezor one, old one. So I have like a Ledger Nano wallet as well. So I have 3 wallets just in case, right? So when I buy coins, I split them into 3 or 2, and then half I put in like one Trezor and the other half on Ledger Nano S. Because recently what happened, Ledger Nano S got hacked like maybe last year or a few 5-6 months ago, and because of that I've taken everything out of the Ledger Nano S, and then I've split all my coins into like 2 to Trezor 1, and then the new Trezor Model T, that's the black one. So it's better to, I mean, it's simply about asset protection, right? If you buy, you spend a lot of money, and then if you leave it on the exchange, you are not, protecting your asset. So it's better to take it off the exchange and put it in here. So Ethereum tokens, you can put the XRP, you can put on TMT, but you can go to their website, Trezor wallet, Trezor.io, and then check what kind of coins you can hold on them.
I mean, especially the new ones like Block or something. Can you still put it?
Yeah, Block. Yeah. So what I would do, maybe next week, I will show you guys how to use MetaMask, and you can access MetaMask using your Trezor. So you download on your browser, but only by using your Trezor wallet, you have access to that MetaMask. And then on that MetaMask, you can add coins like Matic, Block, and then you can Hero. It's like on a different chain as well. Hero is not a ERC20 token. It's on BNB, Binance chain. So you can add these chains, and you have access to Metaverse. Your Trezor, and then that'll be a lot safer, because you don't want to put it on the exchange either. So I'll probably discuss. I'll show you, like share my screen and show you how to do it. It's very simple.
Yep. Okay.
What if those guys, one of those guys die? Like
what?
Oh yeah, for this, when you get it, if it dies or if you lose it, so like your house got burnt or something, the day that you register, like this one, you'll be given like a seed, like a 24 letter seed. So you write it down on a piece of paper. The paper will be given with, it comes with the Trezor wallet. You write it down on a piece of paper, and then take like maybe copies, and then put it like one at home or whatever, and then one in a locker or something. So if your house gets burned, if you lose this one, you can go on to Trezor.io, put your 24 words, and retrieve all your coins back. So this is really safe.
But also needs to mention, actually, something like the Cardano blockchain, for example, there are Digilus wallet and Euro wallet and other things that comes with Cardano.
Yeah.
So that's the most safest for you guys. Why I say that is because if for some odd reason something's been hacked in Cardano blockchain, they will refund you. They will find it, they will give you back. And it has happened in many other blockchains as well, especially I think certain blockchains I can't remember in the past, in 2017, when it got hacked. there's an obligation from the blockchain itself to give you back. So make sure you use the actual genuine wallets like Cardano, in Dedulus, or Euro if you've got ADA.
Yeah, yeah. So it's really important that you have your coins like, you know, in your hardware wallet, like cold wallet. This is off the exchange, and you can have like Ethereum tokens like on your web browser, but still online, right? So it's better to have offline. Yeah, Vic, do you have a question, Vic?
No, I was just going to say, just
Yeah.
a reminder that this Friday's Black Friday sales. So Ledger and Trezor
yeah.
will have it 50% off. So this is the best time to buy it this Friday.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Thanks for that. So this Friday, right? Yeah, so yeah, so as he mentioned, if you want to buy any Trezor or Ledger or Nano wallets, probably you'll probably be able to get like, you know, a 50% discount. So it would be like a really good time if you want to buy one of them, because it's better to keep them off the exchanges. Okay, do we have any other questions? So if not, we can probably, yeah, it's almost 10 o'clock, right? Let's call it a day. So if you don't have any other questions, we can finish the session right now. Okay, yeah, okay then, guys. It's a really good session again, like, you know, and I wanna appreciate Shihan and Shamira's effort, like, you know, to explain about superannuation and technical charts. So thank you guys for your support. And yeah, we had a pretty good session again. So hopefully share market's not going to do anything crazy, and then Bitcoin will consolidate for some time and it'll go back up. So everyone's happy, right? So yeah, let's hope for the best and always have some USDT. So yeah, thank you all. So probably see you again next Sunday, and then we probably have like a similar kind of discussion, and see you next Sunday at 8 o'clock. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Nice.
Bye.
That was a great session as usual. Thank you very much.
No worries, buddy. Thank you. Thank you all.